Hello friends, Techman Pat here. Today we're reviewing the HomePod, and I hope from my face you can see my disappointment, because I'm really trying to convey that without actually getting just horrendously pissed off. I was very excited, and I suppose I wouldn't be doing these reviews, I wouldn't love technology if I wasn't excited at every aspect of technology, getting into my hands and playing it and trying it. I wouldn't be me if I wasn't excited. What hurts me is the disappointment after the fact. It's the point when you go, man, that looks good, don't listen to everybody else, do your own review. But then again, I guess I suggest watch reviews before you buy anything. But as somebody who reviews things, I want to make up my own mind sometimes, and I watch a lot of reviews before I buy anything. And I've watched a bunch of reviews about this, and overall, it hasn't been negative. But today I'm going to tell you that this is a piece of crap. A piece of crap that I cannot recommend to anyone. But let's talk about the good things about the Apple HomePod. It looks darn cool. It honestly does. This is a really cool looking HomePod. It is a really nice braided cable, and it looks cool. It's got a little screen at the top that does some cool animations, and overall it looks absolutely magnificent. And that's expected from Apple. I expect their stuff to look good as opposed to not. And this really ticks the box. It is heavy, and one thing that it does really do well because of its weight is the amount of speakers it has and the range of sound it can make, from the lows to the highs to the mids. It plays music fantastically. Honestly, this is probably one of the best sounding speakers I've ever heard. It's not particularly massively loud, even though when you turn it up, it is loud, but it doesn't distort your ears, it doesn't distort the music. It does the music part really, really well. And the features that it comes with, you can play it from your phone, you can play it from Apple Music, which you do have to have a subscription, which is $13, $14, $15 depending on your plan per month. And it's the reality of the world at the moment. On a Google Home device, you can actually subscribe to something for free and have some music, play it from YouTube, whatever. And this plays music really, really well. It also controls other Apple devices. You can say things like, hey, turn on the TV, and so on, if you've got an Apple TV, which I do, and that worked. Well, let's get to that in a minute. So it does the music really, really well. What else does it do well? What else does it do well? Bubble nothing. This is it. Apple Music, that's it. You listen to music and you're out. Everything else about this is absolute crap. So let's have a talk about what's bad about this. First of all, let's start with, setting it up. It's an absolute mission. I don't know what Apple does. Apple does software really well. They do the iOS really well. I have an iPhone. I love iOS. If I didn't have iOS, I would have switched to a different phone years ago. I liked Android, but I like the phones, not the the hardware, not the Android ecosystem. But what is this? The Home app in this is horrible. It's terrible. Setting it up is a pain. It failed multiple times. It doesn't connect properly, even though it's right next to the router. And of course, it doesn't recognize your voice properly, which, Google does for some reason. Or I don't know, maybe because they share our information with their AIs and other people, and anyway, it doesn't matter. More private, I suppose. Whatever. Couldn't recognize my wife's voice. It never listened to her. It never listened to her at all. It would only listen to my voice for some strange reason, even though she did try a few times. It did go, yes, I'll do that. I'll play some music, whatever. That's the other thing. It picks up my voice perfectly. It does sound up and say, oh, that's what I'm going to do. And then it fails. It's connected to the internet. It's connected to everything, and it works perfectly in regards to streaming music if it actually understands your voice when it starts streaming music. But don't worry, it'll stop midway and stop playing music all of a sudden and be like, what's going on? Oh, you'll ask it to play music again. Hey, and it'll start a whole new playlist. No, this just randomly stops playing music. Now, there is a feature in playing music that says, I'm going to scan the room, where the walls are, and things like that. Bull, doesn't do any of that. No discernible difference between one location to another. Why bother? Advertising at its greatest. They really got me. They really got me this time. So first of all, doesn't really understand what you're saying. Try to set up a timer. Nah, not going to do it. But she's like, no, screw you, Pat. I'm not going to do that. Try play some music. Yeah, it'll play some music. Try playing a specific song by a specific artist. No way. It'll always get it wrong. And I'm pretty sure I know all the names of my songs. go to my Google Home, ask the same question, thumbs up works absolutely perfectly. No joke, it is perfect. I'm looking over there because I might have turned on the Google Home. I'm worried that every time I say something to us, it won't work. I can send messages, which is good. Google Home can't do that because I don't have an Android, but whatever. It's not a smart home speaker. Because what makes a smart home speaker is the fact that I can request things, like I can request it to do things, answer me questions like miles to kilometers. It doesn't understand, and it doesn't everything that it comes back that I've asked my Google Home before, because before I got this, I was on Google Home, my whole house was covered by it, and it was getting answers all the time for every one of my questions, no problem at all. But when I start asking those same questions to this device, thinking, hey, yeah, I'm just gonna set a reminder, or I'm gonna set an event, or I'm gonna set a timer, or I'm gonna ask it for some instructions on how to cook something, nope. No thanks, Siri. No thanks, Apple. It doesn't do it. This is not a smart speaker. This is a speaker. It's terrible, and do not buy it. I joke you not. Do not buy this thinking it's going to be a smart speaker. At $364, this is the worst smart speaker I have ever used. For $364 Australian, this is the most expensive speaker, Bluetooth speaker, that I have ever seen. Apple really needs to put its game up in Siri. Now, Siri isn't necessarily the biggest problem because I use it on my phone, my Apple Watch, quite a bit when I'm writing. I say, hey, skip song, next song, play some music. It works pretty well some of the time, but I expect the wind and whatever, you're writing, it's quite noisy. But with this, you're at home and it's usually quiet and you have to wait. Oh my gosh, how long do you have to wait for the task at hand to be done? It is impressive that it picks up your voice and then waits so long. Because in that time between me asking that question, I could have Googled that answer, or I could have gone and done that myself, like turn on the TV. Hey Siri, what time is it?
It's 11:57 a.m.
Hey Siri, play some music.
On it, Patrick. Let's kick things off with something by A Perfect Circle.
Hey Siri, what's 50 divided by 10?
50 divided by 10 is 5.
Hey Siri, set a reminder for Patrick to take the pies out of the oven at 5:15 p.m.
Who is speaking?
Cass.
I don't recognize your voice. Go to the Home app to turn on Recognize My Voice for this home.
A lot of things that you want to ask it, she just says, I can't do that right now. Some examples like, well, turn on the TV and open up Netflix. Google does it, this one does not. And it's connected to the TV, it's an Apple TV. It should be able to do it. I did try to play some TV shows, which it can do that, which is weird, right? It won't open Netflix, but it will play a Netflix show. But good luck in actually picking up the last episode that you were watching. Like during the period of The Witcher, which I highly recommend watching on Netflix, I asked it to play The Witcher. I was on the 4th episode. It just went back to the start and played it from the start. This makes no sense as a smart home speaker. So that is why today I'm going to go return this, because I'm so mad that it doesn't do everything that it was advertised. And to me, that's false advertising. If you're going to say something that this will do this, this, and this, and you advertise and put out these beautiful adverts of videos of people doing all these tasks, and then you get it home and it doesn't do it, it's an absolute disappointment. And this just became an overly expensive Bluetooth speaker. Calm down, Pat, it's just a speaker. But I get so excited about technology, like I said before, and I want to review it. I want it to work because I want to recommend it, because positivity is a lot better than negativity. And I know negativity sells, and I know the title of this video is going to be clickbaity, but it's not clickbaity because I do not recommend you buy this. And if you have one, please let me know in the comments if you like it, because the only thing I'm going to miss when I return this is probably the quality of music. But I'm going to try and review one of the Google Max ones, or one of the other devices like the Alexa devices that also play music. Now, I'm going to try and finish off on a little bit of a positive note. This integration with your iOS and your calendars is actually quite nice. You can ask Siri what's on for today, and it'll look through your calendar and open it up. Now that's if you use Apple calendars. And also at the end of the day, it kind of does some things, like it sometimes works, but the level of frustration that you get with it, to the point where a device that is voice controlled or commanded, there's this sort of level where you can deal with the frustrations if 90% of the time it works, like every so often you might have to reword something, but when it's 80% of the time it doesn't work, and that 20% works and works really well when it does, and the 80% is just pure frustration, then that's when the product has failed. This product has failed as a smart speaker. Friends, thank you very much for watching. I hope this has stopped you from buying it. I hope it was a little bit entertaining, and I will catch you guys in another video. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe, but let me know what you think about this speaker. I did actually get a lot of initial comments saying it's gonna be shit. I just didn't believe you guys. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. It's bad, and it's getting returned. It was a Christmas gift too, but you know, here we go. Thanks. Bye. Bye bye, Miss American Pie.